Hi, in this video, I want to continue the previous video, certain themes that I introduced regarding why during awakening process we start understanding about misaligned relationships or imbalance in our relationships or imbalances and places where we might experience loss in our work life. All of these usually happen when we are not aligned with our higher soul purpose or aligned with what is necessary or needed to unfold in the next turn of the centuries events or next phase of earthly existence for humans and other planetary creatures on earth. So at that time we will end up having the experiences related to misalignment, imbalance, great losses, or eventual gradual losses, or even ups and downs of losses. And while I introduced some of these themes in the previous video, there is a lot to explore in this simple topic as well. So, from that simple cartoon that I was expressing, I couldn't find the original cartoon, but just imagine this if you have a good imagination, that in a park there are two couples walking opposite to each other on the park, and one couple was a sharpener who was holding hands with a bowl, a nut, or a screw, whereas the other partner was a pencil who was holding hands with a bolt. Now, the reason why I have explored already the aspects, some of the aspects related to a sharpener realizing what is the right partner for the sharpener, but there are more to the story for even what a sharpener might have to explore a little bit in order to understand who is the right life partnership for the sharpener. So while the sharpener is looking and trying to meet the needs of, if say a sharpener realizes that screw is not the right fit for the sharpener and they need a person like a pencil whom they can keep sharpened regularly and jointly you have a life purpose together. Now the sharpener also has to, while if the sharpener is the provider in the relationship and they are providing the pencil with eraser, a paper or a book where they can draw and write and do their work. Similarly, if the pencil is their spouse, this pencil is also supposed to provide some comfort and meet the needs of the sharpener. So, if the sharpener is getting too blunt, the pencil has to recognize that and figure out how to fix the sharpener. Or if the sharpener is getting rusty, it has to realize that what are the health conditions in the life of the sharpener, that is, or life conditions that are causing the sharpener to become rusty so that it doesn't become rusty. But in our modern world, in relationships, if you equate rustiness to becoming sick in life or having a illness or disease or disability, at the time what we have learned so far on our earthly journey is that if an illness strikes, and for example if you have some say skin disorder which is similar to a rustiness of a sharpener, now when the metal of the sharpener has become rusty, most people will only fix the solution by going to a doctor or a surgeon. And if it is like a minor scale rust, they might just apply a little bit of oil and the rustiness might go away. They might use some cleansing agents that they know can take away the rust, and they might go to a surgeon like person who is helpful in sharpening the sharpener at the right level it used to function earlier. But the deeper reasons as to why the sharpener is getting rusty or why our body is falling sick has not been explored on earth currently, or very few people understand this concept very deeply. As a result, what starts happening is, while we have given the superficial immediate fix of a solution, and that solution is also necessary, it's not that it is not necessary, but it is only the first step of solution of solving a problem. And when on a earth, or like let's say you have a home environment where something is there in the home environment that is causing a sickness in your partner or in your family, at that time if you have observed that that sickness is happening and you are mindful and you are truly caring of the person who is a part of your family, that is the part of your ancillary role, not simply to coexist with each other or function together, to realize that the sharpener will sharpen the pencil and the pencil being sharpened now can do its purpose of writing. The purpose, if you are brought together as a couple in a family, your purpose is not simply to serve each other's higher purpose, but also to help each other in serving your higher purpose. Understand that when you're failing to serve your higher purpose, why are you failing to serve your higher purpose? So at the time, if the sharpener is the getting sicker and getting some skin disorders or some other health disorders where their normal functioning is not happening, while giving medicine, while doing surgery, while doing some initial home remedies to fix your problem is great when you are at a that stage of life where it is easily fixable, very visibly fixable. So if it is minor scale rust, rubbing a little bit of oil removes the rust, makes it all right. But if it has gone from a minor scale to a moderate scale rust, again taking it to someone who knows how to remove it, not just with oil, or if you know some they will give you some other additional chemicals that you have to apply on it, which is exactly what the doctor will do. If you go to a doctor, normal doctors will give you some medicine, apply on your wound, apply on your for your diseases recovery, and that condition will go away because you've applied it exactly like how you're applying something on rust. While some people have some internal diseases going on, other people have external skin diseases or visible responses going on with their disease, and all of them get treated by some chemical like thing that will remove the rust, remove the cause of the symptoms that you are seeing in the disease, because rust is a symptom of a particular environment condition. Rust is not actually while rust is happening to the blades of the sharpener, likewise while disease is happening to our body, or a disability or illness has occurred in our body slowly over time, it is a symptomatic representation of what is actually going wrong in the environment. So for the rusty thing, there is a chemical reaction going on, and that chemical reaction is going on because of the environmental conditions of the area where the sharpener is stored. So if this sharpener is stored in a very damp atmosphere, it might fasten the reaction, or it is stored in an environment where the chemical reaction for the rust is going to be faster. All kinds of chemicals are there around in its surroundings, which are causing it to rust more and faster, or at a greater level. All of these are also necessary conditions as a home a maker, or as a family you are supposed to observe about a sharpener if you want your sharpener to function in an optimum way. Now if you don't observe, which is similar to, like, say a child is observing their parent, or a spouse is observing their parent, or a parent is observing their child, when a person in their family is getting sick. That is the reason why you are, especially in a country like India where we have larger families, when we are given a larger family to coexist with, that is the higher purpose of the larger number of family we are given to coexist with. They are not simply meant to just sit and function with you jointly to do something together in life. They are also meant to observe when you're failing to do your optimal work. They are also meant to observe when you're falling sick, and then take the right measures to ensure that you don't fall sick, or understand certain higher purpose related to your sickness. So when you fail to understand, when someone go sees a sharpener is rusty, you've taken it to the or you're essentially a human has fallen sick, you've taken them to the right doctor, given them the right medicine, done all the things that were already known that can fix the problem. But even then, if you see continuously that the sharpener, if despite giving all the right chemical treatments and all the right oil and other stuff, it is not getting sharp again, or it is, even you went for a surgery, also removed a whole scaly layer of the problem, even then it is continuing to get rusty. At that time, do you have to realize something, that maybe the environmental conditions are such that this is not healthy for the sharpener. Now if it's a parent who is getting unhealthy and you're realizing that this environmental condition is not healthy for my parent, then if you are a mindful child, if you are really truly caretaking your parent, at that time you will also realize what are the environmental conditions causing their health decline. You will try to bring that into the light so that those health conditions could be removed slowly by you or your parent, or both of you jointly together. So for example, if your parent is going in environments where working, like they're going for work, and in their work environment there are conditions that are causing them to rust or fall sick, they have to do the steps that are needed is to take steps related to their work environment. Either they have to ask in their work environment the right necessary conditions that will help support their health, or they have to leave that work and find a workplace where they will not get diseased or ill as much as they are getting when they are going to a particular work environment. It could also be not the work environment of the office where you're working, but while from going from your home to the work environment, there are all the different steps we take daily in our daily lives, where we are walking through a place, driving through a place, sitting in a train or a car or a bus, whatever we are using, vehicle we are using to travel, or the places we are traveling through, the environmental conditions of the vehicles and the places we are traveling through could also be impacting our health. So at that time you have to realize what are your environmental health conditions that are responsible for your health. So you have to do this deeper diving, and the more deeper diving you do, the right causes or all the causes related to your poor health will start unfolding for you, which is what I did in the last 7-8 years. When first initially I had burnout related things going on, so I was focusing on the emotional health related factors and happiness related parameters. I had to bring in inner joy in my life, because I was not having any meaningful connections in my personal life or social life. Whatever connections were happening, they were very superficial connections, or connections of the kind where a pencil is getting sharpened by a sharpener. So I was getting sharpened by my environmental conditions, but there was no one to observe when I'm getting blunt. I had to go continuously to a sharpener to sharpen myself, or I was getting continuously abused as a result. There is another way you can sharpen a pencil. You can sharpen a pencil effectively, smoothly, and a little less painfully when you're using a sharpener. But as a child, when in our homes, sometimes we didn't have a sharpener. Some of my grandparents used to use a knife to sharpen a pencil. And the way a knife is used to sharpen a pencil, it doesn't give a very aesthetically pleasing look, but a knife is also a very harsh way of sharpening a pencil. So a lot of large chunks of the pencil's body surface gets removed if you are not skillful at sharpening using a knife. And also sometimes the tip of the pencil also starts breaking if you're not doing it in the right way. So all of this means knife is not a greater or best choice for sharpening a pencil. But even though knife is not a very good way of sharpening a pencil, unless someone is over a very long time they have understood how to skillfully sharpen a pencil using a knife, while knife is not the right tool, if you continue getting into abusive relationships or abusive partnerships or misaligned partnerships where you're getting hurt again and again while you are indeed getting sharpened, that eventual hurt will cause burnout and exhaustion. Because while if you have a good right sharpener, if I have a certain length pencil, let's say it's a 12-inch pencil, and that 12-inch pencil will last me, say, based on what kind of writing I do, it can last me, let's say, for a month. But if in the hands of a person who doesn't have a sharpener, that pencil is given to someone who has a knife, that knife will, because knife can cause larger parts of the thing to get broken off, either the pencil's body or the pencil's graphite is getting broken off sooner. A pencil that is being sharpened by a knife can end up not lasting a month, but it might end up lasting only 20 days. So which means the pencil is getting used up sooner than what maybe it was created for. essentially it is a burnout of the pencil. So if you are continuously giving, let's say you're giving continuously, you're in an abusive relationship, lot of your esteem and traumas are continuously happening, so a lot of your personality or core happiness, core energy levels is continuously getting chipped away by staying in constant contact with people who don't understand, who are hurting you, who are chipping away your value and worth. So if you stay in abusive relationships or abusive friendships or imbalanced friendships and relationships where people don't know how to balance it, what is the gentle way to sharpen a pencil, if you don't realize all these things, they will be continuously abusing and chipping away your confidence and self-esteem, or sharpening you but at the cost of you losing some greater energy than you would have lost if you were with a more aligned partnership or family relationship. So that is how a pencil is now getting sicker and weaker, and that's why I had to take the time to pause now, because I'm not getting the energy and resources from the humans I have been connected to currently in my earthly existence at that point of time. I'm talking about an incident from a few years back, not today's personality. Today I have other different challenges going on. But 8 years back, when that challenge was going on in my life, at that time I had to, that's why, take a break, because I just didn't have any reserve energy to do anything at all. So I had become a pencil who was maybe a 12-inch pencil. From a 12-inch pencil I had become a 8-inch pencil, when at that point of time I was not supposed to be a 8-inch pencil, but I was maybe only supposed to be a 7-inch 6-inch pencil. But because a lot of things had been chipped away, considering my age, I was much more tired. Considering all other factors, I was not able to do what a person of that particular age should be able to do. Like if you have ever sharpened a pencil, you have also seen that when a pencil is 8-12 inches in length, you can hold it much more easily and you can very fluidly do larger strokes with that pencil. Whereas if your pencil has now become sharpened and reduced in height to a smaller 3-4 inch pencil, at a time it takes a little bit more effort to navigate larger landscapes or do larger paintings and writings, or long periods of writing with it. Your hand will start hurting because you can't hold the pencil properly when it's getting smaller and smaller. So that is how a diseased body is, or a frail body is, or a body is that is reaching its end of life. So which is what in my previous video I was talking about. When you're reaching the end of life, while in the beginning, that same pencil in the beginning stages of their years of their life, in their 20s 30s, when you are energetically, you've got a lot of energy, reserve energy is a lot, and God is essentially the wielder of that pencil who is writing with the pencil. So God is writing a little bit of our life with us. Well, the pencil decides maybe which book to write on. God is deciding which or which book to paint on, or a little bit of the things associated with our life is associated with the divine will. So as a result, the divine knows divine knows when you are at your optimum peak health, when you are not at your peak health. But if your people who are there in your life are not observing it, when you are in your peak health, when you are not in your peak health, that is the karma they are accruing according to their present and future life purpose that will unfold for them in their life. If you do not understand that you are using this pencil much more oftener than you need to use, then, and the pencil's time is for it to be rested, like if you have a 4-inch pencil or a 6-inch pencil than a 12-inch one, it is halfened in size, and it is halfened in size, halfened in its purpose as well. So whatever it was doing initially in the first 30-40 years of its life, maybe now it is not supposed to do. And from a 6-inch pencil, when it becomes a 2-inch pencil, again it is not supposed to do the same activities that it was doing when it was a 12-inch pencil. But if you assume that this pencil is still like you're not able to perceive that, you think, which is what happens to many children when they see their parents, they think that their parents are still